Welcome, my friend. There's something you've always known, even in the moments when you felt like you had nothing. Deep down, you carried a quiet confidence that there was more for you. It was never about scarcity, but rather about potential, a sense that you were meant for greatness beyond what the world could see. This isn't a mistake or wishful thinking. It's your essence calling out to you, reminding you that before the world taught you to shrink and settle, the universe already intended for you rise fully and boldly as yourself. And now that time has arrived. This isn't a race, nor is it about chasing approval. This moment marks a new chapter, a divine shift. This is when everything you've been through, everything you've become, is finally going to be recognized not by some arbitrary measure of success, but by a greater force that has been quietly preparing you for something far more significant. You've probably heard the world talk about hustle culture, about constantly pushing, proving, and chasing what's out there. But this moment isn't about any of that. It's about alignment. It's about the unique rhythm that only you can hear, one that's been guiding you even when others tried to push you off course. And now it's time for the world to catch up to you. You're not being rewarded because you conform to someone else's standards. You're being honored because you stayed true to your own path, even when it was hard. You walked away from platforms that only wanted your talent, but didn't care for your truth. You chose substance over surface, authenticity over the shiny distractions that were only temporary. You may have been overlooked by some, but you were never lost in the shuffle of fleeting trends. You didn't need to play the game to win. In fact, you found something even greater, sustained, unshakable peace in your own truth. You chose integrity when it would have been easier to go with the flow. And now that choice is paying off. The reward you're about to receive is more than just financial. It's a reflection of your growth. When the universe supports you, it's not just with money or status. No, the true currency is favor, ease, and access to places you once thought were closed off to you. The kind of doors that open when your spirit aligns with purpose, and the obstacles you used to face begin to fall away. This is a blessing that goes beyond anything you could have ever planned for. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't some overnight success. It's not about a quick fix or a shortcut to where you want to be. This is about deep-rooted, lasting change. It's about the kind of abundance that follows your soul's journey, and you'll find that this next phase of your life isn't about scrambling to catch up. It's about stepping into what has always been meant for you. You've done the hard work, the quiet work, the work when no one was watching. And now the world will see. You've stayed the course, even when the path was unclear. You faced seasons that tested your limits, times when the weight you carried felt unbearable, but you refused to let it break you. When everyone else was celebrating their wins, you watched from the sidelines, feeling invisible. But it wasn't because you weren't seen. It was because the world needed to catch up to your frequency. You were in the process of becoming the person who could handle everything that's coming next. Think about how the stars don't always shine at the time we expect them to. It's not that they're not there, it's that they're often hidden by layers of space and time. Only when the conditions are right do their light finally break through, illuminating the vastness. This is how your journey has been. You weren't invisible. You were simply being prepared in ways that others couldn't understand. Now that the right time has come, the brilliance that was always in you is undeniable. You're about to enter a phase of your life where things just align. The moments that once seemed like setbacks were all part of a divine preparation. You weren't being held back. You were being sculpted. Every delay, every hard choice, every season of struggle was part of the process of building a foundation strong enough to support the abundance that's on its way. And when you look back at everything you've been through, you'll realize something incredible. You weren't just surviving the tough times. You were learning to thrive within them. You didn't need to seek validation from anyone. You stood firm, anchored in your own worth. You were showing up, even when it felt like no one was watching. And now, you're about to be rewarded for the version of yourself that stayed true through it all. The version of you that didn't trade authenticity for popularity. The version of you that didn't succumb to the pressure to conform, even when it felt like the only way to succeed. The one who stayed grounded, even when the world around you seemed to be moving at lightning speed. There's a truth that many overlook, but you know it well. The universe doesn't rush. It waits until you're ready to receive what is meant for you, until you're whole enough to hold it without losing yourself in the process. That's why it felt like nothing was happening for so long. It wasn't because you were forgotten, but because the universe was waiting for the perfect moment when you were aligned, balanced, and prepared to receive the blessings that are about to flow into your life. The kind of wealth that's coming to you isn't just about material gain. It's about peace, fulfillment, and freedom. It's the kind of wealth that feels like breathing easy again, one that doesn't require you to compromise your values or sleep with a heavy heart at night. It's wealth that whispers to your soul saying, "You're safe now. You've made it." And it doesn't arrive too soon. It arrives at exactly the right moment. You can feel it, can't you? That shift in the air. The moment before the storm breaks. The stillness before everything changes. It's not loud yet, but it's undeniable. And when it happens, you won't need to convince anyone of who you are or where you've come from. The results will speak for themselves. The moment is coming, your moment, and it's going to be everything you've been waiting for. Keep your heart open because it's already in motion. Your life is about to speak for itself. The quiet moments of rest that once seemed insignificant are now becoming your story's revelation. The peace you've cultivated, the calmness you've nurtured, will soon become the proof that there's a greater force at work in your life. Because when the universe decides to invest in you, it shows up with a glow that can't be duplicated by any marketing or strategy, and that's exactly what's unfolding in your life right now. The era of constant striving is coming to an end. No more forcing yourself to fit into a mold that doesn't reflect who you truly are. The season of being rewarded for simply being yourself is here. When your blessings start to flow, it won't feel like payment for a service you provided. It will feel like a cosmic recognition, a sign from the universe itself, telling you, you didn't break. You didn't change for anyone. You stayed rooted. Now, watch the rewards come. What's coming your way isn't just for your survival, it's for your evolution. This is wealth connected to who you are, your truth, and your purpose. At first, it might feel strange. the ease that begins to replace the tension you've been carrying for so long. The opportunities that will open up, not because you knock down doors, but because they've started to open for you. You'll notice provision showing up before you even had to ask for it, not as a reward for service, but as confirmation of your alignment with your purpose. For so long, you've known the only way to earn worth was through hard work, through performance. You've believed that in order to be loved or valued, you had to be useful, to prove your worth with exhaustion. But this chapter in your life is different. It's not about performing for validation. It's about being seen for exactly who you are, without sacrifice, without begging, without shrinking. This is the season of abundance, not just enough to scrape by, but more than enough. And this overflow, it's not the result of relentless pursuit. It's the byproduct of becoming the kind of person who can carry it with grace, without letting it feed your ego. You've carried the weight of others' pain with compassion, and now you're being entrusted with joy. You've walked through brokenness, and now you're being invited into beauty. The world might not understand how this is happening for you. They'll search for a formula, a strategy, or a secret app, trying to reverse engineer your success. But they won't find it, because the key to your transformation wasn't in some formula. It was in your consistency, your faith, your character. You maintained even when no one was watching. You stayed true to yourself when it would have been easier to compromise. And that's why the blessings are flowing now. This wealth that's coming to you isn't entangled with strings. It doesn't come with manipulation or require you to change who you are. It's not a trade, it's a reward. And the beauty of it? It feels completely different. You won't feel frantic or desperate to hold on to it. Instead, you'll feel grounded, calm, and open. This is a new frequency of receiving, a space where you no longer need to prove yourself. You're not running after success. It's coming to you because of who you've become. Receiving doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives quietly, with stillness, with a deep knowing that things have shifted. It's like the first sign of rain after a long drought. The kind of rain that doesn't stop halfway, but continues to pour with abundance. This is the moment when heaven starts to sponsor your peace, your joy, your rest. You're not being compensated for performing anymore. You're being honored for what you carry, for the light you protected when no one was looking, for the strength you displayed in your darkest moments. And now that light is turning into overflow. Opportunities will come your way that feel like destiny, not obligation. Provisions will appear like answers to prayers, not as burdens or debts. The people and circumstances around you will begin to elevate your peace rather than drain your energy. You're stepping into a season where excellence and ease will go hand in hand, where you no longer feel like the underdog because heaven never saw you as one. You're not a project, you're a pillar. You're not a struggler, you're a steward. And when people ask you how it all happened, you won't have a neat 5-step answer to give them. You'll simply say, I stayed when it was hard. I kept walking even when it didn't make sense, and I never allowed bitterness to kill the promise. That's the essence of wealth. Wealth isn't just about money. It's the peace you carry when you know everything is taken care of. It's waking up without dread, knowing your life is aligned with something greater, something sacred, something unstoppable. So stand tall, speak slower, Feel the weight of the moment you're stepping into. You're no longer hustling for scraps. You're the one hosting abundance. You're not begging to be seen. You're being positioned to be honored. You're not surviving life anymore. You're stepping into the headlines that the universe already wrote for you. And you're not just being compensated for existing. You're being celebrated for staying true, for enduring without turning bitter. You're being lifted for choosing the harder, quieter roads. You're being rewarded for loving when everything around you seemed like loss. So let it all in, the wealth, the recognition, the support. Not because you need it to prove anything, but because it's time. When the universe says it's time, even the gates you once thought would never open will swing wide. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me today. If this message resonated with you, feel free to like, share, and help someone else who might need to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe and keep going on your incredible journey by watching the next video that speaks to your heart. See you there.